So you're thinking about making a move to the Boise, Idaho area, and Nampa in particular has caught your eye. As one of our fastest growing suburbs, there are a lot of reasons why people are absolutely falling in love with Nampa, Idaho. And I'm gonna walk you through 7 of the best things about living in Nampa, Idaho right now. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chase Dolan and today we're going to be focused on Nampa, Idaho. It's no secret that over the last 5 to 7 years, Boise, Idaho has been the #1 place that people are wanting to move to, the fastest growing city in America, the most appealing city, whatever the list was. Boise's been near the top of that list for quite some time. A few years ago, we actually saw that change from Boise was still there, but it was more like 5 or 6. And then Meridian kind of hopped up towards the top of that list. But over the last couple of years, we've actually started to see that, again, Meridian starting to move down that list now that people have learned the secret. And Nampa is the one that's taken over and kind of taken the relocation game by storm. Nampa itself is located about 25 minutes west of downtown Boise, just shooting up I-84. It has a population of just around 100 to 110,000 people, making it the 3rd largest city in our Treasure Valley. And when I talk about Nampa being a great relocation destination for people moving here to Idaho, it is also an absolute hit for people who have lived here in the Boise, Meridian, Eagle areas for quite some time. We are seeing a ton of locals move their family out towards Nampa for various different reasons. New construction, it's a little bit cheaper, all sorts of things that I'm going to go into in this video. But anytime I see that combination of people relocating and locals flocking to that area, you got something special. So like I said, in today's video, I'm gonna take you through the top 7 things that come to my mind when I'm thinking about the best parts about living in Nampa. We're gonna talk about this revitalized downtown that you have to be sure to check out. We're gonna talk about the events and how Nampa really is the place that you're gonna end up going for any sort of concerts, rodeos. We're gonna talk a little bit about the outdoor adventures that are available in Nampa itself, as well as, like always, the proximity to the outdoors outside of the Treasure Valley. We are, of course, gonna talk about the cost of living and the affordability of Nampa relative to Boise, Meridian, Eagle, kind of the Treasure Valley as a whole. I'm gonna highlight the great balance that Nampa has of being part city and then part country living, and how you can kind of dance on that edge with how everything's situated right now. I'm going to talk about Nampa being the #3 most diverse city in all of Idaho. And then to wrap it up, I'm going to touch on some of the job opportunities, the big companies that are coming to Nampa, the local businesses, and also the educational opportunities from a few different universities, the school districts, everything along those lines. But let's go ahead and dive into the first thing that I want to talk about today of the best parts about living in Nampa, Idaho. And we're gonna talk about the downtown in Nampa. Rewind to about 5 or 6 years ago, and the downtown that you would have seen in Nampa would look totally different than the downtown that you're gonna see today. A lot of money, a lot of construction, all sorts of resources have gone to revitalizing certain parts of the downtown. They've brought some great local restaurants, little boutiques, they have a great coffee shop. Downtown Nampa is a place that for the longest time, there were still good restaurants, there was still stuff to go and do, but it wasn't a destination. It wasn't something that people were wanting to go out and find. But over the last few years, I've noticed just with my wife and I, but also talking to clients, family, and friends, people have been starting to go to downtown Nampa more often. It doesn't raise an eyebrow when you're like, I wanna go out to dinner 20 minutes away in downtown Nampa. People now are kind of like, okay, I really like that. A few places of note in downtown to check out are gonna be Holy Cow, which is a burger joint that really specializes in these kind of over-the-top burgers, but the true secret is on their appetizer menu, and this is for all the adults out there, even though this is gonna sound like a total kid's food. The mac and cheese egg rolls are to die for. They have like a jalapeno and a barbecue sauce on top, and oh, when I tell you they're a hit, that is my go-to recommendation for most people when they're here kind of visiting the place for the first time. It is yet to disappoint. Just up the block from Holy Cow, you're also gonna find Flying M Coffee House. Flying M has a few locations around the Treasure Valley, but they have a big garage location in downtown Nampa. That is a great place to meet people, have good coffee drinks, do some work, whatever it is that you need to do. If the coffee shop is your scene, this is one that you're gonna wanna check out. And then finally, for a great dinner place that really gets high reviews to the point where you're probably gonna need a reservation if you wanna play it safe, just up the road from downtown Nampa, you're gonna find Brick 29 Bistro. This is a little higher level of a dining experience, but the menu, the drinks, the service, everything is always top notch. So it's a great place to go out and have a dinner. All right, and number 2 on the best things about living in Nampa is once you're up here in the area, you're gonna notice that Nampa, Idaho, and the Ford Idaho Center in particular is gonna be one of the main destinations for a ton of concerts. They have an indoor kind of concert arena, and they also on the outside have a big kind of like grass amphitheater with a big dancing pit area. There are concerts here all throughout the year, and they range in all the different genres, type of music, country, whatever it is that you're looking for, you're gonna find something. You're gonna have the Country Stomp that happens every single summer, and it's a country concert festival. Food trucks will be all around the edge. And then you're also gonna have the Snake River Stampede, our biggest rodeo here in the Idaho area, located just inside at Fort Idaho. Outside of the Fort Idaho Center, you're gonna have a big art festival that happens every single year in Nampa. You're gonna have something that they do downtown called Third Thursdays, where they have a ton of food trucks. They kind of block off the streets for driving so everybody can kind of walk around. There's gonna be different booths set up, the restaurants, the shops, everybody stays open a little later than normal, and it kind of gives just this really cool atmosphere. And again, it happens every third Thursday of the month. So being located in Nampa, you're already close to a ton of stuff that you're probably gonna be interested in anyways, so you're cutting down on that commute time and really having that convenience factor. Let's say events, people, social situations, those aren't your forte. You really wanna get out into the outdoors, either by yourself, with your family, with some friends, whatever it is. Living in Nampa is gonna offer you a ton of really cool outdoor adventures, and this is the third thing that I wanna talk about today. Nampa itself is home to 27 different parks. It has 14 miles of pedestrian pathways, trails kind of located throughout the city. You're gonna have 2 public golf courses with Centennial Golf Club and Ridgecrest. Both of these have a full driving range. They got the pro shop, they've got the full 18-hole course, and Ridgecrest actually has a second 9-hole kind of executive course that you can go out to. You're also gonna have Lake Lowell just outside of town for all of the water sports and just that lake life. Located in Nampa, there's gonna be Wilson Springs, which is a 55-acre nature park located in Nampa with all sorts of trails. It's a really cool thing to go out and feel like you're not actually in the city. And finally, the biggest public park in Nampa is Lakeview Park. Lakeview is gonna have a community pool, a water park, a 1,000-person amphitheater. It's gonna have sports fields from soccer, football, baseball, everything there. It's gonna have the basketball courts, a playground for the kiddos, and then a full BMX track as well. And all of this is located in Nampa itself. But as you've heard me say on the channel plenty of times, one of the best parts about the Treasure Valley is, let's say that you've done all of this and you want to get out, you want to go camping, you want to go up to the mountains, you want to go snowboarding, whatever. From Nampa, you're going to be looking at around 30 minutes for the quickest, up to a couple of hours to get up to the mountain towns, which is really close proximity depending on what you want to do. Basically every sport out there is accessible to you. So whether you want to go hunting, fishing, snowshoeing, you want to go camping, mountain biking, whatever it is, that's one of the best things about living in the entire area as a whole, but Nampa is right on its doorstep. Just wanted to hop in here real quick and give you a reminder that I am a licensed agent up here in the Boise, Nampa area. So whether you're thinking about making a move in 9 days, 9 months, whatever it is, if there's a way that I can help answer even just one question to make this journey a little bit easier on you, I would absolutely love to. So all of my information is down below. Call, text, email, whatever works best for you. Go ahead and reach out. I would love to find a way to help. And of course, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you are the first to know everything that you need to know about living here in the Boise, Idaho area. But let's hop back in. So with all of the amenities, all of the pros that we're gonna talk about today, as well as already talking about Nampa being one of the fastest growing places, if you're familiar with the Boise, Idaho area at all, you know that our home prices, our cost of living, has really shot up over the last few years. You might be asking, okay, this sounds great, but is this just going to be another expensive option up in the Boise area? And the answer is, relative to the rest of the Treasure Valley, Nampa is going to be one of the most affordable places to live, and especially when we're talking real estate. At the moment, median home prices, they can change all the time, but as of filming this, the median home price in Boise is somewhere between $590,000 and $600,000. And then if you shoot out to Eagle, you're gonna be around $850,000. Meridian's down around $530,000. Middleton's around $500K. These are gonna range quite a bit, but Nampa itself is gonna be a little bit lower than most of these other towns, coming in at around $460,000. And this is a big reason why when I talk about the locals starting to move their family out towards Nampa, is the fact that they now know that they can get more bang for their buck. They can cash out on their home in Boise, Meridian, Eagle, whatever it is, and get a bigger home. They can get a little bit more land, whatever they're looking for. your budget is gonna stretch a little bit farther when you get out to Canyon County as a whole. But Nampa in particular is offering a ton of options. And in these options, you're gonna find a wide array of homes that you're gonna look at. You're gonna have your large acreage developments. You're gonna have your entry-level kind of production style builds. You're gonna have a ton of resale opportunities. Some of them are close to downtown, kind of with that cottage craftsman sort of feel. And then of course, classic suburban developments from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 40 years ago. There's a pretty wide range. And everything in between, semi-custom, whatever you're looking for, Nampa has so much land because it actually crosses the highway here to where there's still a lot of room for growth. And that's where we're seeing a ton of new construction happening. And Nampa is going to be one of the main hotspots. Now, when we're talking cost of living, our metro area here hasn't grown to the point where we're going to see massive differences from town to town. We're all close enough that we tend to shop at the same grocery stores, Fred Meyer, Winco, anything there. You're gonna have around the same prices of gas depending on the place that you go. Restaurants are gonna charge around the same based off the level of restaurant. Everything here is gonna be pretty consistent, whether you're living in Boise, Nampa, Caldwell, Meridian. There's not gonna be a massive difference. Now, you're gonna find little differences here and there, but it's gonna come down to exactly what you're looking for. But on the grand scheme, your money is gonna go farther in Nampa purely just because you're gonna be able to get more for your money in terms of the home that you buy. So even if you're not looking for more home or more land, you're gonna be able to get the same home in Nampa for, let's say, $350,000 that you would get in Boise for closer to $500,000. And that right there is a really enticing factor for a lot of people. And when we're talking about that enticing factor, I wanna talk about the fifth thing that I'm gonna bring up today. And this comes up big time with people kind of deciding on which town they want to live in, whether they're moving here or people moving around the Treasure Valley. With the big exponential growth that we've been seeing in the Treasure Valley, a lot of our cities, Boise and Meridian in particular, have really started to feel like much bigger towns than people are used to. There's not a ton of open space, feels very like everybody's kind of on top of you, a little bit more busy, fast moving, whatever term you want to use. We've started to see that happen a lot, and this growth isn't going anywhere. So what people are really looking for is, hey, I like the amenities that Boise has. I like the village in Meridian. I want restaurants, I want options of things to do, but I don't want to sit on Eagle Road and sit in traffic every single day. So they're looking for a little bit more of that country rural living style without sacrificing everything that they could get in town. And this is where Nampa really will thrive. It is a great mix of rural kind of country living just outside of town and in Nampa's downtown and on Garrity. There's a couple of different shopping centers, Karcher Road. You're gonna find a lot of what you need, but you are gonna be able to buy a home that's just a little bit farther. The commute's gonna feel less busy. It is a great balance for a lot of people. And the next thing that I wanna bring up today is talking about the diversity here in Nampa. According to niche.com, Nampa is rated the #3 most diverse suburb in all of Idaho. And when I'm talking to family, friends, clients who live out in Nampa, this comes up all the time. They're always talking about the diverse backgrounds. They're talking about the different things that they can go out and do, the new activities, restaurants, everything there. It's something that people really like having in their life, especially if they're coming from other areas that were a little bit more diverse than what you're gonna see in the majority of the Treasure Valley. And finally, for the last thing that I wanna talk about here today, this is gonna be number 7 of some of the best things here in Nampa, Idaho. I want to talk about the growing job market, the companies that are coming, and the educational opportunities, because this is part of what makes Nampa a great place for young professionals or families. If you have people that really want to have a way to grow up in the town that they live, Nampa's going to be a great option. Getting started on some of the big companies. In Nampa itself, you're going to find an Amazon, you're going to find Plexus. There's all sorts of big companies kind of moving some of their industrial things, their headquarters, out in Nampa, especially on the north side of the highway. And this allows for a pretty strong job market here in Nampa. Now, don't get me wrong. The minimum wage, the average wage in the entire Treasure Valley has a lot of work to do. It is definitely not meeting up with the overall growth that we've seen in home prices, for example, and it's really starting to put a little bit of a constraint on what people are able to afford and the quality of life. But when we're looking at the Treasure Valley as a whole, everything else considered, Nampa's going to be one of the places that you're going to find a ton of jobs in. There's a ton of local businesses. There's shopping centers for more of the retail, restaurants. There are a ton of cool opportunities here in Nampa. And when we're talking about the job opportunities, the room for growth, finding a good career and such, this is only going to get better as things continue to grow out. As companies start to expand outside of just downtown Boise, we're gonna see them need places to go, and Nampa is high up on that list. And of course, as growth happens, we're having more and more companies bring their business here, new financial services, all sorts of different fields. Idaho is a very business-friendly state, and that's super appealing to a lot of corporations. And this also goes for some of the schooling. So of course, down in Boise, you're gonna have Boise State University, but then out in Caldwell, which is just about 10 minutes from Nampa, you're gonna have the College of Idaho, and then in Nampa itself, you're gonna have Northwest Nazarene University. All of these offer a really high quality education, and again, it gives you some options here in town that you can kind of keep everybody at home, have everybody grow. And for those of you who have younger kids still in elementary, middle, or high school, Nampa is home to Valley View School District, which is one of the best school districts in the entire state. Again, like I usually say, what people want in schools, what they value, what makes it a good school to them versus not, super objective. You're gonna have something different than I will, than the next person will. But based off what I've heard from clients that have moved into there, as well as a few friends and clients that are teachers, a lot of them highly recommend Valley View School District. And I think that speaks a lot. And there it is. Those are 7 of the best things about living in Nampa, Idaho. If you think I missed something, if there's something that you just adamantly disagree with, drop a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any specific questions on Nampa, Boise, moving to the Idaho area in general, all of my information is down below. I would love to chat and figure out if we can just answer one question for you. Call, text, email, whatever works best for you. I'd love to help. But until then, I hope that you learned something. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next one.